Hello, this is Malorian, and this will be a 40-point game of Kallus up against Kallus. So I have a buddy that lives like 10 minutes away, and we both play Everblight. Uh, we both have Kallus, and we just kind of thought, let's have a fun game. It'll be Kallus versus Kallus. I mean, it's a league game and everything, but the neat thing about this is that, of course, with Kallus, there's so much infantry. Just the way that it's going to be going up against each other. And also the thing is, I run a completely infantry Kallus army, and he runs more of a mixed army with the heavy beasts and stuff in there. So it'll just be interesting to see how this works out. The mission we have is close quarters, so in order to get it, you have to control your opponent's little circle there and have your caster in one of the circles. You have to do that 3 times, so it's almost impossible to get. For my part, what I have for my 40 points is I have 10 Hex Hunters, 10 Legionnaires. I have a minimum cookpot. I have the Nephilim Soldier is my only beast. Then there's Kallus. I have Archers, max unit with UA, max Swordsman, and max Grotesque. And they're just all out here. I deployed first, and so I just kind of threw them out there. Kind of expected he'd have his shooting units on the flanks, and that's what really I want my Hex Hunters and the Grotesque to go after. What he did deploy, though, is he has a Spell Martyr, then he has his Legionnaires, he has what's that beast there? He has the cookpot there, which is the max unit. He has a swordsman on the far right, and then he has 2 Ravagors there. So there's 2 spell martyrs, so he can be doing his little blast to me. He has a blast coming from the Ravagors, so I really have to be watching my placement. And then in the end, the one thing that I do have going for me is that I have 5 units of infantry to his 2. So that should really go into my favor as long as I can somehow deal with these heavies. But hopefully they're going to be staying back. He also has 2 Deathstalkers, which are going to be shooting me pretty quick. So even though I outnumber him, he has all the tools he needs to be shooting me down. So we'll sort of kind of see how this plays out. And you can kind of see more of a close-up of his army. There's also a shepherd he has there in the back. So he has quite a bit more of support stuff that I kind of forego, just have tons of guys. But it's just a different way of playing it. So I get first turn. Pretty much everything is just rushing up. One of the silly things I do is, of course, I put Ignite on the Swordsman just in case they get to fight his beasts. And then I put up the Dark Guidance as well, and it's totally useless. I don't have a lot of experience with Kallus, and so it's some of these things just kind of do by just what it seems like that's what you'd always do. One of the things I'm having to do every turn as well is that since I only have 1 beast that's going to be generating 3 fury for me, I have to keep on cutting myself. But it's not really that big of a deal because Kallus also regenerates, so whatever. I'll just keep up this cycle, and then that's why I don't have to forget to have it going when I need it. One thing that's really obvious here, though, is that unfortunately with my min pot only having the 4 guys, it's a lot slower, so it's not going to be up where I need it, so I already see how that's going. And another thing you can see from the side is they're actually doing Death Clock with this, just because one of the other guys commented that, if you're doing Kallus versus Kallus, it's probably going to be one of your slowest games. Might as well time it, see how it goes. So his turn, he's moving on up, not too much though, just kind of spreading out. The big thing he does is he moves up the left Spell Martyr and channels through to do the big fire eruption thing. It's going to be taken off right away there. It's just I took the picture before it was taken away. And he also shot with the Ravagor. And one of the things I had that was pretty lucky is that those 2 templates could have been perfectly blocking the space going in between. So luckily they scattered, so I still have room to get through, but definitely something I'm going to have to be watching for, especially on the other side here. And other than that, he just has, he puts Ignite on his Legionnaires. He probably really doesn't need it. Most Legion stuff is wearing pajamas, but if there's one strong unit here with armor, it's going to be my own Legionnaire. So that's probably a good thing for him to do. So my turn, pretty much just rushing up here. Again, I'm putting up things like Dark Guidance just because. And I make sure not to kill any of his Legionnaires because I don't want them to get the free attack. And otherwise, I'm just throwing up the guys up there to take his first attack, then I'll get the Vengeance and really hopefully do a lot of damage. On the right side, I'm really gummed up because of all this terrain. And I mean, I set up myself, so I kind of did it to myself. But I really thought my archers are going to be a key component here. But unless I can start setting up some lanes, that's not going to happen. So what I'm hoping is going to happen is that the Grotesque will be able to charge his Deathstalkers after I lose a few, and then after that I'll have it all open here for me to shoot, and if any time his sword masters or swordmen start moving up, I can just counter with my own. So his turn 2 here, and it was pretty deadly. On the right side, between the two blasts, I mean, the other spell martyr came over and did its thing, and I mean, the big thing with the fire eruption that Kallus does is that it's not actually blast damage, so everybody takes a full 14, and that thing just really hurts. So you can see over here, I lost so much on the right side, and now everything's gummed up with these templates that I can't move into, or else I'm going to die. So that's not going well. The good thing is on the left side, he pretty much only killed the very stuff in the very front. He also kind of pulled back with Kallus and didn't pull his feet, so that's good. I can now get in here, and I should be able to get a control point. He did blast my soldier for some good damage, but it's still fine. So my turn 3, really what's happening here is this is going to be my feat turn, just to kind of get in there and make sure he can't push me out. But between the vengeance moves and all the attacks, I was able to kill all of his legionnaires, so that was pretty lucky actually on my part. The Hex Hunter is starting to move in, doing some damage to the one Ravagore. The soldier flew over, destroyed the pot. Because it was already full, a Shredder jumped out. I did quite a bit of damage to it. Archers moved over, killed a couple of the pot holders. My own pot is moving up and is starting to get a little bit of stuff. My swordsman on the right pretty much just, you know, the last thing I want now that things are going so bad on the right is for him to be able to bum rush me. So I'm just making sure to have the fight on his side. So flying over the Grotesque to tie up his Deathstalkers there and setting up for all the combat here on the right. But the real thing I did stupid is, even though I control a zone, you have to be in one of the zones with your caster to get a point, and Kallus isn't. So that was pretty stupid on my part, and so I didn't score a point. His turn 3, he on the left side is basically trying just to hit at me the best he can with his little pot guys. The Ravagore goes up to try and shoot Kallus, but I mean, thanks to my extra defense from the feat going on, it scatters off and is kind of like on that center building there, so it's pretty much nothing. He moves up and kills one guy with the one Deathstalker that I didn't have tied up, and the other one went and killed one of my Grotesques in combat. And then on the right side, he killed my throwaway guys, and now I can counter his swordsman with my own. So my turn 4, this was pretty good. On the left side, my Hex Hunters move up, shoot that Ravagore up, then go over with the Legionnaires, do a massive big hit. It's left with one wound, so I kind of really wish I would have put Ignite on them, but whatever. I mean, having one hitbox, and that's fine. Otherwise, I was able to kill off the the Shredder's dead at some point. I'm not sure if I just did here or whatever, but the main thing is I got him out of the zone. I actually moved Kallus into the zone, so I'm scoring my first control points here. Archers moved up, were able to kill the one Deathstalker, and you know, it's looking good. I'm starting to score control points, and he's really going to have to try and figure out something to get back in this. So his turn 4, and he actually does kind of have a good solution to it. His Ravagore goes and he heals it up with Kallus, does some damage, kills a couple of my Legionnaires there. But the big thing that happens is the other Ravagore, the right one, goes and gets a shot on Kallus and pretty much hits him dead on. And I take a lot of damage. So I'm also on fire, and I could easily die next turn. I think I was left with only 4 boxes left, so that's not really good. Another one of my Grotesques are dead, and then even worse is that, man, his swordman over there just rolled amazing. He didn't have Dark Guidance up or anything. He just, all the little 7+s he needed to hit, he got them all. So now, instead of this kind of like even dance I was hoping to have, now it's just a last desperation for those 2 guys to hold them up. I actually would have scored another control point, but I said, like, those 2 little pot handlers, move them into the zone. So, you know, at least I'm not going to win by some stupid little forget of a move. My turn 5 then, I'm lucky and the fire on Kallus goes out. With the pot, I'm able to make a Harrier, which is able to go over and kill one of the little pot guys. I'm able to go and kill the Shepherd with the Hex Hunters. I was able to kill off the Ravagore, and then all I had left is that one other little pot person that I needed to kill with my soldier. And even with 2 boosted to hits, I just could not do it. So, funny enough, I had to actually end up charging it with my archers to kill it. Over on the right, was able to kill one more swordman, pretty much just tie them up. And yeah, at this point, I mean, I healed only 1 point for my regeneration. I'm sitting on 3 there, which I could do transfers, mainly to the Harrier. The soldier is full up with focus and fury there, but the big thing here is I scored another control point, so if he doesn't do something, I'm going to win by scenario. But on his turn, he is able to figure it out. What he does to solve this is he moves over the Kallus, hits that big huge fire eruption there, which kills a few archers, but more importantly does a ton of damage to my Harrier. And then the Ravagore comes over and shoots me, and I don't have enough to transfer it all away, and it's just enough to kill me. And I die. So victory to the other Kallus, and you know, I was feeling kind of stupid at the end there because I mean, I was sitting on 3 Fury, and I mean, I could have used 2 of them to heal myself, and then I would have lived. I would have been on fire, re-rolled it off, the fire would have gone out again, but the other thing I could have done too is that after the Harrier killed that one guy, it could have sprinted away and been fine as well. So 2 things I could have easily done and then I would have been fine. On his part, the big thing that he was kicking himself for was never popping his feet. I mean, he was kind of back some of the times, but especially the one turn when I killed all his Legionnaires. He probably should have really had his feet up that turn. Plus, he felt that with his swordmen, he should have been a lot more aggressive because they really played a really small role in the actual game. I mean, sure, they killed a lot of mine, but it didn't really do anything towards the scenario or the caster kill. So there you have it. Again, I just need to get better at keeping my casters alive. I was really close, especially on a scenario that's hard to win, but next time. So hope to like watching it. Bye.